Hermes Agent goes from a basic chatbot that you barely use to a system that runs your work in the background even while you sleep. Most people install it and never make it past the first stage, and that's really the whole problem. If you just installed it, poked at it for a couple of days, and then quit right after, you might be missing out on the most powerful tool that you can own. So here is what I'm going to do. I'll be taking you through all 6 stages of Hermes, from the very first thing that you do with it to full beast mode, where it's learning your workflows, running a crew of background agents, and operating your day on autopilot. I'll also take you one stage beyond that into what's genuinely possible in the near future. And by the end, you will know exactly what Hermes can do at each stage, the one move that unlocks the next, and where you personally are on this ladder. If you like practical AI content like this, real tutorials, comparisons, or reviews on things that can improve your work, make sure to subscribe for future videos just like this one. Alright, so back to the video topic, starting with stage 1, the helper. In case you're completely new or unfamiliar, Hermes is a self-improving AI agent developed by Nous Research, meaning that unlike a normal chatbot that forgets everything, it's built to learn and get better the more you use it. You gotta hold that because it's the whole reason these stages even exist. Now, stage 1, as I said, the helper, is day 1. You just installed Hermes, connected a model, and you are using it for the basics. Quick questions, research, maybe writing, summarizing, planning, and making files. Now, even here, it does a lot more than a plain chatbot. And that's because it already has access to real tools. It can do web search, browser automation, file editing, terminal, and more. The main point is that Hermes does not just talk, it can actually go and do small things on your PC in the terminal, executing codes, making files, all of that kind of stuff, and then it can actually hand you a result. So this is a very basic application of what Hermes can do. For example, I asked it to research the best AI coding tools, create a short table, and then save the result as an HTML file that I can open later. At this stage, Hermes basically feels like another ChatGPT with hands. It can look things up, use tools, and produce files instead of just text. Now, this is still mostly one-shot prompting. It's useful, but it doesn't feel like a real agent as of yet. At this stage, it feels like a slightly more capable chatbot. And that is exactly where a lot of people stop and they get it wrong. Because Hermes was never built to replace ChatGPT or Claude. And this part should start to tell you why. The second stage is the daily assistant. Hermes Agent stops being an application that you open and chat with and becomes something that you can reach from wherever you already are. You easily connect it to the applications that you actually live in, whether that's Telegram, Discord, Slack, WhatsApp, Signal, or more, as it runs across 20+ platforms through its gateway. And suddenly, you get access to a powerful AI agent straight in your pocket. You can voice note it an idea while you're walking, send it a file to analyze from your phone, or fire off a task from bed. Let's say I'm gonna make a video later. From Telegram, I just go there and I message it, I'm going to record a video later today. Create a simple prep checklist, research what needs to be researched, and remind me what screens I need to capture, and draft different title ideas. All of that while I'm still on my walk. And then directly inside Telegram or WhatsApp, it comes back to me and it tells me everything I need to know before I even got back on my desk. So the shift in this stage is pure access. Hermes is no longer a program on one machine, it's an assistant that you can message from anywhere. Now, to be completely honest about what this stage is and isn't, access is not the same as raw intelligence. Messaging Hermes from your phone is convenient, but it's still the same agent that doesn't really know anything yet. Convenience is nice, but it's not magic. The real unlock is the next stage, when Hermes starts learning the specific way that you work. And that takes us to the third stage, which is the intern. Now, this is one of the first things that Hermes does that a normal chatbot flat out cannot. Up until now, it's been remembering facts about you, but in this stage, it starts learning your processes and your workflow, the actual ways that you do repeated work. The key line to hold on to is that memory remembers information, skills remember processes, and Hermes' latest update made this that simple with a command called /learn. You point it at a workflow that you have finished recently, a description, a folder, or a URL, and it turns that into a reusable skill that it keeps and reapplies over time. Here is exactly how I use it, as I taught it my script review process once, and now that that's saved, I just tell it to use my script review skill to review this. It runs my exact checklist every single time without me re-explaining a word. That is a big difference between a chatbot and a trained agent. Maybe you can get a chatbot to help you once, but a trained Hermes workflow will help you every time. And because it's learning about you, there is a second half to the stage that matters just as much. and that is the /journey command. Once you run that, Hermes will show you everything that it's accumulated for you over time. All of the memories, skills, what it thinks it knows about how you work. You can easily view it, edit, or delete any of it. And that increases the actual trustworthiness of your AI agent. The learning is not a creepy process that happens in the background. You don't even know what it learned about you and whether it's accurate. It's more like a notebook that you can read and correct whenever you'd like to. The honest limit here is that bad skills will create bad automation. If you teach it a vague, sloppy workflow, you will get vague and sloppy results forever. You have to teach it specific, repeatable processes. So spend some time here if you are at this stage, get that right, and then you move on to the next stage when you stop asking for a single output and start having Hermes run whole workflows all at once. Speaking of which, stage 4, the crew. And here Hermes stops being one voice and starts acting like a small team that you have full access to. Two features will drive the stage, and they are both in the latest update. The first one is the mixture of agents. Instead of trusting one model to be right, Hermes runs your hard questions or processes through several reference models at first, and then an aggregator model that reads all of their takes and writes the final answer. It is a panel instead of a single opinion, which is great for real decisions. You gotta be careful here though, as if you keep using the mixture of agents for everything, the cost and the tokens will be way too much. I personally only use mixture of agents for the real hard decisions. Second of all, we've got the background subagents, as Hermes can now fan a task out to multiple subagents that work all in parallel in the background while you keep chatting with it. And then when it's done, it hands you one consolidated result. A few researchers working at once, one clean answer at the end. It honestly feels like you've got a whole team working for you instead of a single assistant. Now, the honest limitation of this, as I mentioned, is that more agents do not automatically mean better output. If your task is vague, all you will get is several vague answers instead of one. The quality of the split still depends on how clearly you define the work. Now, the fifth stage is the backbone. Now, at this point, Hermes becomes an integral part of how you actually move your work. It's connected to your entire infrastructure now. Your files, your code projects, calendar, email, messaging, and MCP tools. You shape its behavior with context files like sol.md and agents.md so it knows your project and your standards, and then you set up recurring jobs that run on their own. The headline capability here is scheduling, so you can set a cron job similar to these ones that I have running. You configure them, you prompt them just once, and it runs. You wake up to the entire brief no matter what it is. And that keeps Hermes working even while you're sleeping. Now, this is the stage where I have to slow down and be serious, because the more access Hermes has, the more useful it gets, but also the more careful that you need to be. For example, it can send emails, it can prepare tasks, delete files, get access to entire programs. You don't want to connect every single tool just because you're able to. The point isn't to connect everything, it's to connect the tools that remove repeated work. This is exactly where a lot of people get burnt by handing the AI agent too much access and too early. You need to give it power deliberately, not all at once. Now, you reach the next stage not by adding even more, but by time. When Hermes has accumulated enough memory, skills, and repeated workflows that it starts to compound. That takes us to the sixth stage, which is the multiplier. This is the stage that nobody can show you in a flashy 30-second clip, because it's not a demo, it's a compounding effect. By now, Hermes should be able to know your work, it has your skills, it remembers all of your context, can route models, delegate tasks, and run your scheduled workflows and verify its output. Now, the latest update even made the self-improvement cheaper to run daily by pushing that background learning to a smaller auxiliary model instead of burning your main one every single time. Now, here is what this actually looks like in practice. For a creator, for example, it knows your channel style, reviews your scripts with your checklists, suggests topics in your niche, drafts your descriptions, compares thumbnails, and keeps your recurring content workflow running. If you are a developer, it knows your codebase, follows your project rules, has skills for you to review and deploy steps, and uses the /goal completion contracts to verify a task is truly done. The honest truth about this stage is that it takes time. You do not get here in a couple of days. It takes repeated use, cleaning up your memory, specific skills added and configured, and clear workflows built over the weeks. The multiplier isn't a feature that you switch on, it's what Hermes becomes after it's learned your work for a while. And it never truly finishes that. You just keep refining it and it keeps getting better and better at being your own agent specifically. Alright, so where does that actually go? Not sci-fi, the grounded near future of tools like Hermes. In my opinion, the direction is pretty clear. Agents that genuinely know your workflows, pick the right model automatically, manage their memory transparently so you can always see and correct it, get access to any and all kinds of tools but safely, and then run background work, verify their completion, and becomes a personal command layer sitting over all of your applications. This isn't just hype, it matches where the actual research is heading. Work on reflective agents showed they improve by reflecting on feedback stored in memory, not by retraining the models. Newer memory research argues that agents need real memory systems to use past experience across long tasks. That's exactly the bet Hermes is taking. So the trajectory is real. Alright, so at the point of recording this video, this is how far Hermes can actually take you, from a helper that saves you a few minutes to an entire system that runs all the different parts of your work and gets better at your specific life every week. The whole reason it's so powerful is that compounding effect I explained, alongside the subagents, scheduling, and now the additions of /learn, journey, and goals. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you have found it to be helpful or informative to watch, let me know by giving it a thumbs up. Drop any comments down below if you have any, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future tutorials or reviews we'll be covering on Hermes Agent to automate your work and different parts of your life. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.